To close us out, we're going to hear a talk about how X equals love, a leadership discipline. Please join me in welcoming Doug Baldwin Jr.
Are you nervous? I'm nervous. So I'm assuming we're nervous. Do me a favor. Everybody take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale through your nose, because some of y'all didn't brush your teeth today. Okay, we ready? Love. Hi, my name is Doug Baldwin Jr., and my mission on this planet is to spread love. Now, when I say love, I'm not talking about sentiment. I'm talking about a discipline. I define love as patient, kind, does not boast, does not brag, does not keep a catalog of wrongs or rights, and does not demand its own way. Now, to my wife's chagrin, I don't live up to that standard on a day-to-day basis. However, my experience has taught me three things. Number one, love is sacrificial. Number two, love revolves around relationship. And number three, love has to be freely chosen. Now, freely chosen. Stay with me. If we're to solve for anything, what are we really solving for? You just heard a whole bunch of incredible speakers and presenters talk about what we need to be solving for in their specific lanes and systems. Right? See you shaking your head. But if we zoom out, I want to understand the fundamentals of the reality in which we live in. Because when I look out in the world, I don't see the outcomes that I want for my 3 daughters that I'm raising. And so I wanted to find something that could help me articulate this in the most simplest, basic terms. And so naturally, I landed on quantum physics. Okay, bear with me, I'm not a physicist, okay? My understanding of quantum physics says that our reality exists in a state of probabilities, meaning that our reality is not fixed. And the possibilities don't collapse into a specific outcome until an interaction occurs. Information is exchanged. A relationship happens. Yeah, you nodded my head. You see where I'm going? So, if quantum physics is explaining and describing the reality in which we live in, then what could we be solving for that is in alignment with the reality in which we live in? Let me back up and say it again. If quantum physics says that our world is not predetermined, if outcomes exist as probabilities but not certainty until an interaction happens, then maybe solving for X is actually not what we're here to do, because we don't know the outcomes. So maybe, just maybe, there's something before that, a decision that has to be made. And that decision then collapses those probabilities into an outcome. And so maybe we shouldn't be pursuing outcomes. Maybe we should check our intent. Because the systems that we build, really whatever we build, whether it's access for accessibility, whether it's programming for students, whether it's systems that supposedly serve humanity, the outcomes, if we look around the world, aren't really aligned with what my daughters, I think, would want. And so, if we are going to solve anything, let's solve it here. Let's solve it in here. Let's solve it in here. Let's solve it in here. I'm going to take some liberties. They gave me 5 minutes, but I'm the last speaker. I want to do something for you real quick, okay? Mia, we good? You okay, Mia? Okay. Mia knew when she asked me to do this, like, she's getting me, so, Y'all are getting me, so bear with me. But I got to do something, okay? Because I know most of you know me from my previous career, or have heard of me from my previous career. Truth is, I don't even like football. I don't. So I want to reintroduce myself to you. Is that okay? Hi, my name is Doug Baldwin Jr., and I'm a Christian. Now, when I say I'm a Christian, I don't mean to offend anybody, okay? Hear me on that, please. I don't mean to offend anybody. When I say I'm a Christian, that means I believe in Jesus Christ, which means I believe in Jesus Christ's teachings. When the Pharisees were trying to trap Jesus, they asked him, hey, Jesus, out of all the laws of the land, all the demands of the prophets, which rules actually matter? Jesus didn't hesitate. He said, there's two laws that matter. Love God with all your heart. Love your neighbor as yourself. Period. Do y'all hear me? Okay, so then the next logical question would be, what's the definition of love? I already gave it to you. Patient, kind, does not boast, does not brag, does not keep a record of wrongs, and does not demand its own way. Love has to be freely chosen, which means in the environments where patience and kindness does not exist, love has to choose to be so. Love could boast and brag, but it doesn't, even though it has every right to do so. Love doesn't keep a catalog of wrongs and rights because it's unconditional. And love doesn't force its way because love has to be freely chosen. And again, I'm not a physicist, but quantum physics tells me that that's the world that we live in. And so if that's the world that we live in, well, what are we solving for? So here's my charge to you, because I'm a 37-year-old young man still trying to figure it out. So as I'm standing up here talking to you, just be clear, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I do know one thing. When I look at my 6-year-old, my 5-year-old, and my 3-year-old, and when I come home from this speech, they're going to run up to me and say, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. That love, that universal language that some of you all in here know, all of you really know. That's the truth of the reality in which we live. And if we acted as individuals, if we acted in every space that we were in with patience, with kindness, if we weren't arrogant, if we were considerate about the people around us, if we didn't hold them to high expectations and standards that really ain't got shit to do with nothing, and if we freely chose to love our fellow human on this planet that's spinning around the sun, imagine the world that we would live in. Imagine the difference our communities would experience. Shay wouldn't have to be up here talking to, man, I was going to say something. But I'm going to respect the position. Shay wouldn't feel compelled to sit up here and talk about the needs of our communities to a person who doesn't seem to connect with what the true tenets of love are. And so if I'm going to use my 5 minutes and extra time here, I'm going to encourage you all to do one thing. When you leave these doors, and let me back up. Let me just say this one thing. You're not going to get it right all the time. Okay? Trust me. My wife tells me every day. You're not going to get it right every time. But here's what I do know. If you try your best with the intent to love your neighbor as yourself, I'm not saying you're going to win every Super Bowl, but you give yourself a chance to win. You give yourself a chance to win. And if we look outside of our world today, Jesus, we need a chance to win. We need a chance to win. We need a chance to win. And guess what? I believe it starts in this room. Because my 5-year-old, my 6-year-old, and my 3-year-old are dependent on it. So I'm not asking you to solve any problems. I'm not. What I'm asking you to know is that you don't have all the variables. And so if you're going to try to solve this equation, do it with the right intent. You feel me? So please, when you leave these doors, spread love. Spread love. Spread love. Spread love. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I love you.